Do you enjoy going to Moulin Rouge as much as we do? Better yet, do you like going to concerts and sporting events?
SeatGeek helps people easily purchase tickets to these kind of events and unites people like you and us through live entertainment.
And things just got easier for you. As proud partners of SeatGeek, you can use our exclusive promo code CANCAN10 and you'll get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over.
Hey Lily, you've been eyeing up that can seat for a while now.
You're so right, Jules. I think I'm gonna go purchase it right now and use our code for a discount. Do you want to join?
Hell yeah.
Again, that's CANCAN10 to get $10 off of any purchase that is $250 or over. Only valid for your first purchase. Hey guys, it's your girl Lily here, one half of CanCan Talks, and I am here to tell you about our Patreon page. You don't know what Patreon is? Well, it's a platform to interact more with you guys. We post a lot of content on Instagram, but it does limit what we can post. For example, video length. Patreon allows us to post full-length videos of our episodes, as well as other cool things as a way to get to know us. You can sign up for a free subscription, you heard me, free, and you can view the full-length video recordings for a portion of our episodes. You can also join us for just $2 a month, and you'll have access to every full-length video recording, including the episodes with our special guests. We'll also be posting other fun content such as polls, exclusive updates on our upcoming guests, and so much more. Who knows? Maybe we'll live stream and let you guys see how we record an episode. Honestly, as a visual learner myself, I would love to have access to the video recordings of some of my favorite podcasts. So if you're like me, don't wait to sign up. Check us out at www.patreon.com/CanCanTalksPod and sign up for your free or $2 a month membership now. Again, that's www.patreon.com/CanCanTalksPod, linked in our episode description.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Can Talks. It's your girl, Jules, with my co-host, Lily. We are so excited. We have a very special episode today. We have a very special interview with the one and only Jordan Wynn, who has graced us with her presence after just finishing 8 shows this week. So we are very, very grateful that she's decided to come on. And we have no announcements this week, except for this episode is going to be released the week that we are in the city, and it's the 5-year anniversary. So we cannot wait to update you on our travels and our experience afterwards. Anyway, without further ado, Lily, you want to do a little rundown?
Sure. So again, I apologize for sounding like I am dying. It is day 3 of having COVID, day 4 of having COVID, I guess. So we're hanging in there. The whole family has COVID too, so we are just housebound and I have been bedridden for the entire weekend. So we're doing great. Anyways, so Jordan made her Broadway debut with Moulin Rouge. We love a good Broadway debut. So she did the national tour and off-Broadway production of Oklahoma. As far as TV goes, she was on the Late Late Show with James Corden and Mariah Carey's Merry Christmas to All. So she's had some pretty cool experiences thus far before Moulin Rouge, but we are very happy that she is at the Hirschfeld Theatre, and we are very excited to have her on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Always love it. Always love a Broadway debut. Now, I'm goodness, my dog is barking at my door. Sorry, everybody. If I stand corrected, she hasn't even hit a year on Broadway yet, I don't think.
I don't think so. I don't
I don't
know.
think she has. So that's super exciting for her. I think she's coming up to her year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Broadway debut. Do, 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 do. So July 5th is when she announced that she was coming to Broadway. So it's been like a year with the announcement. Um, so we love that. A whole year on Broadway. The good old Broadway.
Can
So
can kicking for a year.
that's a lot of can kicks.
That's a lot of can kicks.
Someone needs to do the math of that and see. Okay, here we go. She started August 1st. So in a few weeks, she'll hit her 1 year. It's a lot of can kicks. So, I want to
Warm up
ask
those hips.
one of those hips. All right, and let's can into this interview.
Let's do it. Hello, hello, hello. We are with Jordan Wynn, who is in the
Hi, everybody.
ensemble.
Hi, Jordan. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule. Like I said, you just finished 8 shows to come and talk to us, so we really do appreciate it. How are you feeling? Like I said, last show of the week.
Yeah, it was a great week. I think like it was just so fun always to be up there with my friends and castmates and just enjoy our time up there and also backstage. We have just so much fun. So I really love like going to work. It's a joy for real. So yeah.
Well, we're gonna get started with our questions. So we kind of just like ping pong off each other. So the first question that we always ask everyone, what was your audition story?
Okay, so very interesting kind of up and down journey there. So I was actually on another Broadway national tour of Oklahoma from 2021 to 2022. And actually, when we were in San Francisco, they were there at the same time. So I had heard about Moulin Rouge, and I had never seen the movie, and I was like, everybody's been saying like this show is so good, like I would be perfect for it. I'm like, okay, I'll see, like hopefully, but also like, I wanted to go see it because we had gotten like complimentary tickets, and um, yeah, I hadn't really seen any other show besides the one that I was in a really long time. So we went and saw it, and I literally like cried the whole nine, like everything. I was like, this is so good, and Sonia really put her foot in this choreography. Like I really see myself being up there and like doing something like that, whether it be on tour or on Broadway. And I actually met afterwards. This is so funny because I joined with Jen, but I met Jen afterwards, got to talking to her a little bit. I was like, this girl looks so familiar. Like we chatted. I chatted with like Alexis Hasbrook for a second on the tour, and like afterwards being like, y'all were so good, like wow, like I really want to be in this. So it was so cool to see y'all up there doing this. And um patrick Patrick was actually on tour with me in Oklahoma, and he had left the tour that we were on to join Moulin Rouge in his ensemble track and be the cover for the two principals. And he also was like saying the same things, like you would be perfect for this. And I was like, okay, like let's see what happens. So I came back to the city and was kind of freelancing, was auditioning a bunch, and was just seeing what else was out there. Um, and I'd gotten a Moulin Rouge audition in, I think it was February of 2023. And at that time, I was just kind of like really like out in the open auditioning, and I'd done the audition. I went, I got all the way to the end, and it was between me and a couple other girls. One being Bree, who was formerly Heel 2, and she ended up getting it at that time. I was like, oh darn, of course, like it's a letdown to not get the part that you want, but at the same time, I was like, wait, maybe there's still a chance for me. And then they emailed me and they were like, we would love to invite you to the boot camp. So I just got invited to the boot camp, which was really nice. And the boot camp happened a couple months down the road in May. So fast forward to May, the boot camp happened. I did the week. I really loved like getting to meet a bunch of people that are now on the tour and on Broadway, which is so crazy to see. Super exciting. It was a big boot camp of so many amazing dancers and super talented artists. So yeah, that happened, and I was like, you know what? After that, we'll see what happens. Live, love, laugh. That was so fun. I met so many cool people, and like that was a great experience. And then 3 weeks later, I got the call. I think literally on June 9th of 2023 that I had booked Broadway, which was crazy because I was like, this is insane. Like what? Like my life is completely changing. Like at that time I was freelancing with a bunch of dance companies, which was really fun. But I was like, I don't know what'll happen next. Like I might have to move home for a second. We'll see what happens. I'm just kind of like vibing. And I graduated from NYU really early, and I kind of felt like I was just like thrusted out into my career. And then like I came home and I was like, whoa, like wait, like now I'm having my like post college like uncertainty, experience. So it was just super reassuring, and what a joy to like get that at that time and join a company of so many fierce artists. And yeah, that was it. I ended up starting rehearsals on like July 5th and then debuted on August 1st of 2023. So it was wild and so cool. So
That's
yeah.
amazing. And like I said, this was your Broadway debut as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to have that as to have a show like Moulin Rouge as your first like Broadway show is pretty cool. And like we're coming up on your near like year anniversary of being on Broadway. So that's we were just talking about that before we got on. We're like, oh, it's nearly been a year. So
Yeah.
whole canning, a lot of can kicks. A
Yes.
lot.
Yes. I can't even believe it. I'm like, what even happened? I feel like time moves so quickly when you're in a show because because our schedule is so packed, like we just time just like moves and I'm like, whoa, like now it's all of a sudden it's January and now it's July and now it's now I'm about to be here for a year, which is so wild to think back on, but it really is such a cool thing to marvel at. Like I can't believe I've been doing this for a year. And we're having so much fun. It's really, really cool.
It's such a fun show, honestly. Just as an audience member, I'm like always having a ball. So yeah, so obviously we mentioned that you made your Broadway debut. So what was that like?
It was honestly my Broadway debut. I kind of like blacked out. Like, when something happens and you're like, I can't believe that just happened.
Me, the first time I ever watched Moulin Rouge,
that's literally
blacked out. I was like,
exactly.
what did I just watch?
Yeah, literally, like actually what just happened. So yeah, and Amy, our dance captain, said this to me and it really stuck with me. She was like, whatever happens in the first show, like it happened, but you'll never get to bow, like do your first Broadway bow ever again. So remember that moment. And like the show happened, and all I truly really remember, what sticks out the most to me is that Broadway first bow. I literally was like, and I like remembered, like I was like, Amy said, remember my first Broadway bow, and I did, and I was like, a tear like shed, and I was like, I can't believe this, I can't believe this is happening. Like I can't believe that, like, after all those years of training and putting in the work behind the scenes, that I did it. Like that's wild. So that Broadway bow is really most of what I remember, and like going to the stage door and like seeing my friends and my family. My parents came, and that was super super special and really just a once in a lifetime experience that I will really never forget that bow. The performance, who knows what happened? I think everything went well for the most part, but that Broadway bow definitely has stuck with me and is like definitely a core memory for sure. So
that's so sweet. I love that. That's like such a sweet little thing to remember. So my next question is, what is your favorite moment or scene in the show? You don't have to be in the scene, but it could be like a one that's like your favorite and like favorite song. So it's like a double, like favorite moment, scene, or song, or all three, whichever one.
I really love Diamonds. That is just always a really fun one for us all to do, because I think it's just such so outside of like myself, because we're all like putting on blonde wigs. We're all like kind of like in character, obviously, but like doing something like in unison, like a little bit outside of our individual characters. It's where we're more uniform, like probably the most uniform in the show, which I think is really really fun to do. And it's fun to like have moments of unison and then have our moments where we're playing and we're expressing our individuality, which is really just why I love the show generally. Like I love how I felt like I was being embraced for who I was and who the character that I was building is. And I think that's super. Moulin Rouge is such a special place because I feel like we have the opportunity to kind of play and change up like little things and bits and that isn't always like the case with other shows, and I think it's really fun that we have that opportunity to do that. But yeah, Diamonds is definitely one of my favorite, and of course Backstage Romance. I mean, come on now, that's iconic. It's
I mean,
yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's so fun to do. Ricky and Sophie are like magic up there. Like it's really it's just so good. It's so good. It's so in it. It's so fierce and like fiery and really inspirational to be around so many people that are really amazing at what they do and love what they do, and we're also able to like laugh and have fun, and it's really cool to be a part of that. And Backstage Romance is super fierce, and like spatially there's so many things going on and so many lifts and like so many like bits and bobs, and it's a really cool that's a really cool like scene and dance number. So yeah.
One of my favorite moments is like after Backstage Romance, so when everybody's like they finish and like then Toulouse goes, I have a few notes.
Everyone's there like
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yes.
everyone's just like sweating and like dying and like and then Talisa's is like, I have a
I
few
have a few
notes.
notes.
Right. Like, really? After all that?
But
So,
Yeah, as an audience member, that is like hilarious just because like we know how much work that takes to like even just do that. And then it's like I have a few notes, but like obviously it's a rehearsal scene, so it just makes sense in the show, but it's so good. My next question is it's a fun one. So what is your favorite stage mishap?
oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I luckily haven't had too many like really quick crazy ones myself, which is crazy because I'm kind of notoriously clumsy. So wild that I haven't had really too many like really crazy ones. The most recent one for me, which was kind of teenier, but I literally was getting so distracted. I was Arabia, and somebody was doing something. I just hadn't like when we go off for shut up and raise, when they go off for shut up and raise, they're like doing silly things while the curtain is coming down. And I was like looking back and I got distracted and I like kind of stuttered on my line. And I was like, so I was like, that's kind of embarrassing, but we recovered. But that's probably, it was just a silly mishap that I'm like, period, girl. Like, try to keep it moving. We could not, we almost had it. But I mean, there's honestly, I think we all have ones where we're like, that mishap was like notoriously iconic. Like, I think one of everybody's favorites was when Gabe Gabe fell into the can. That was iconic. That was really iconic. Yeah, that was a moment.
Fallgate. He called it Fallgate.
Yes, right. Right. Literally Fallgate. That was a good one. I'm trying to think of others. I feel like there's just been like silly like
I've seen
little
people
like
like trip and stuff like on the Boulevardier dresses. I can't tell you
yes,
how many times I've seen like people like walking off and like this, and
yeah.
like it's like little things, but like I've never seen anything like crazy big.
Yeah.
Not there's yeah, like actually not too long ago, maybe like sometime last week, I like it was so awkward because it was a pre-show, but it with my train, I was myself that day, and I like tripped on my train and I was like, this is not it's like how does one recover and like slide back into being sultry like after literally tripping like the first 15 seconds that I was on stage. But no, yeah, it's like stuff like that where it's like this is so unserious, but um I haven't had too many like crazy mishaps myself. Knock on wood. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, hopefully nothing happens, no
Right.
crazy things. Knock on wood. So my next question is, if you could play any role in the show, no matter any gender or anything, who would you want to play?
Maybe the Duke. but it would be giving Duchess. Um,
Love.
yeah, I think that would be fun. I mean, Satine is so girly pop and cute. Like that would be kind of fierce. Um, Pierre, Pierre,
We love Pierre.
Love
Pierre.
him.
We stand Pierre.
Pierre's messy, and Nick does this amazing thing, and we literally were talking about it backstage. He does this like tendu backwards, and he'll like look side eye, and he'll like caress his scarf. I would absolutely steal that because
He eats every time. He eats it up
Mhm.
He's
every
iconic.
time.
He's literally iconic. I love him. But yes, Pierre. Yes.
We love our sassy king.
Our
Sassy
sassy
Pierre.
king. Our
Yeah.
sassy, messy king.
Messy, but we love him.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
I'd pay good money to see you in that.
Me
It
too.
would be fun. It would be very unserious in the best way.
Pierre's it's one of my favorite flat tracks. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so many people play it, and it's just the way each person like interprets it.
Mhm.
And like they said, like Nick does like some funny things, and I've seen like other people do it, and they do like different stuff. So I love Pierre.
Yeah.
He's a silent assassin, you know?
Right. Yeah,
He doesn't say anything, but he does so much.
Yeah, right.
You know, actions speak louder
He
than
really
words.
does a lot.
Right. Exactly. Literally the catalyst of a lot of the issues in Act 2.
Well,
Yeah.
Christian can also do because
Right. But yeah, obviously our messy king, the messenger.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what is your favorite costume?
Oh, that's a good one.
There's so many.
There are so
great
many. I
ones, yeah.
say Satine's crazy rolling dress is fierce. We all kind of talk about that, the blue and red. It's just so gorgeous, and the silhouette of the like corset and then the like flowier gorgeous skirt is it's so pretty. I love that. I also I love Arabia's kind of her purple corset. Like such a cute, like I love wearing it. I'm like, yay, like it feels so girly pop with also the little like butt like bow moment. It's really adorable. A lot of people, everybody's costumes are gorgeous though. I also love, oh my goodness, there's literally so many. The guys for Only Girl too. That just whole scene, also another favorite. That choreography is just, I'm like, yeah, get us up there. Like
So
somehow
girly pop.
So
So
good.
girly pop.
The Duke is so girly pop.
Right. It's so good. And they're like playing this like this scary like it feels like, I feel like what's really cool about a lot of the Duke scenes is that the flats kind of act as almost like an entity. Like they're like additions and like not other versions of the Duke, but kind of like adding on to like the pressure and building onto the intimidation, and are used as kind of like his um I don't know how to describe it, but they're kind of like his like play. There's more of his story.
One of our friends calls them the Duke's bitches.
Period.
Yeah, period. So we're like, works for us.
Yep.
It's really cool how they like add so much, but don't like obviously say anything, but you feel how like they are a part of like his presence kind of like overtaking in Act 2, which is really interesting. And yeah, Pierre adds to that. Like Only Girl is one of those scenes. Duke's song in Act 1 is even like that when the guys come in. So I think that's a really creative like choice and how to like utilize the flats in that way, but also they are their own individual characters in pre-show, in opening, in Shut Up and Raise. So it's really cool how we kind of like switch back and forth and um our different things and different scenes to different people.
Yeah, no, that's I agree. So, kind of going back to Broadway in general, what is like your dream role, like of all
Yeah,
time?
like in Broadway generally.
And like, yeah, just like you know how like people like I want to play Elphaba and Wicked or whatever, what's like that role you're like, this is my dream to do, if you have one,
I don't know if I have one just yet.
or a
I mean,
dream show. Do you have like a dream show?
honestly, this was it.
Works for
After
us.
I was like, I have to. That's the one. At that time, it was like I really want to be in that, and luckily that came to be, which is such a like wild um thing to think about. And I'm super super grateful for that, which is it's just really crazy. But yeah, I I don't know. I honestly so I haven't seen a ton of shows, which is like a thing about me coming at this from like to Broadway from a more dancer first. That was like what I, trained in and went to college for. Like I just hadn't seen as much musical theater and really known as much about musical theater as some like musical theater girly pops like all their lives have, you know. So I haven't seen a lot of shows, so I don't even know if I like there probably is something that's out there right now that I'm like, that would be, fierce for me, but I just am not like I haven't seen as many as I would like to. And also now that I'm on the schedule, like I really haven't, I'm not able to see as many, but I don't know. I feel like one day I would want to play like at least a supporting role or like a lead. Like that would be super cool. One thing that Moulin Rouge has really shown me is that I really do love to not only perform and dance, but I like singing like a lot. And I knew that prior to Moulin Rouge, but this is like really, um, it's really pushed that skill in a way that I'm like, wow, like I feel really empowered and more so, feel much more confident to do that. So I would love to, one day embody a role that challenges and pushes me vocally and like acting wise for sure. Um, so yeah.
Well, we manifest on this
Yeah.
podcast. We're really good at manifestations.
So we'll manifest
We're
for
gonna
you.
manifest for you.
Thank you so much. Y'all are so real for that.
Alrighty, so my next question is fun one. Because like I have personal experience with it. Do you have a specific song in the show that kind of follows you everywhere? Like you're like in a coffee shop or something and it just happens to play and you're like, that song is from Moulin Rouge.
Oh my goodness. Somebody on the train was singing, and I'm trying to remember what song it was.
I've heard Lady Marmalade so many times this last weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? Like literally Friday and Saturday, I heard it and I was like, what's going on?
Yes. It kind of like literally all of them because, obviously since it's giving like pop hits of, 70s, 80s to like 2010s, I'll hear whether I go to like a class or whether it be like a restaurant, I'm like, Moulin Rouge follows me everywhere. Wow, like, would you look at that? I'll hear like firework in like a Target, like, it'll be anything really. Um, Most recently, I can't remember. I literally put it on my story that one of them was following me. I can't remember. Maybe he was singing like Nature Boy. Like somebody was singing something that was actually like more niche, like in the show. And I was like, wow, I love it. Was kind of like, and I was on the way to the show, so I was like, wow, just putting me in the headspace, like getting me into character. I'm dropping in, prior to walking in the building. So it's really fun to like kind of hear, and also like when the pedicabs are like out. Obviously, they're always playing. I want to dance with somebody. They're playing all sorts of things that are, in the show, which is really fun. But yeah, kind of really all of them. Like I'll hear like at least like once or twice a week for sure.
So, speaking of music,
Mm-hmm.
if you could add any song to the show, what song would you add?
We actually, so we to get an inside scoop of like how it is at Moulin Rouge, we have this thing called Music League where we will submit songs like every week based off a category. And at one point there was a category where we were like, if you could add a song to the show, um, what would it be? And we were like talking about workshopping so many different ideas, but one of them was like, what if Satine, we love Firework, obviously, her penultimate song, but if there was a different song, like what would it be? And Rise Up by Andre Day.
I love that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we were like, that would really also eat down. Like that would be so fierce. To kind of like give her another version of like Firework, where obviously she's like overcoming and rising above, what's happening, and trying to understand her place in this like complicated situation that she's about to endure. So yeah, like that is definitely one that I'd love. We also had another round where if it wasn't like Diamonds, I think maybe the round was, or like just another song that you would like to have in the show, and I submitted She Works Hard for the Money by Donna Summer. Wouldn't that be a
Yes.
fierce all heels number? Right.
That'd be amazing.
Yes. So I was like,
This
that makes so much sense. Like we're playing like like essentially prostitutes in 1899 Paris. Like we're working hard for the money, indeed. So it would be such a cool. I feel like if there was like more time, that would be such a fierce like all heels number, giving kind of essentially the energy of Diamonds. But yeah, like I think that would be also really cool.
that would be epic. Because when Boy George was in, you
Mm-hmm.
guys
Yeah.
added some songs. People have always said like, they're like, oh, JoJo, they should add like, Leave, Get Out. 'Cause
Yes.
that would be
Yes.
iconic. That would be
Yes.
iconic. We keep saying like people tweet, I'm like, maybe they'll listen to us one day and they'll put it in. But we all
No,
live in
during
hope.
the No One Owns Me.
And she's like, get out. I was like, I would pay extra money to see that bit.
Yeah.
Yes, literally. That's so funny you mentioned that because we were literally talking about that last night. Like actually, like what if we added like some of JoJo's songs, and Leave, like Get Out was one of the ones we were talking about.
Great
So
minds
yeah,
think alike.
I'm like I would love that. The people would love it. So, but we'll see. I don't know what'll happen.
I honestly, I keep thinking like Taylor Swift Reputation era is like so good for like Act 2.
Mm-hmm. I know, I agree. Like there's so many, and I'm like, what, like if the show came out later, like what other songs like may be in it? I think about that all the time. I'm like, there's so many cool like songs of now and like past, the point of when they were like writing musical that would also be so cool. Like I wonder how that would change. But we love our show like as it is, of course. But it's so cool to think of like all the possibilities. Like, yeah, I don't know.
There's so many songs out there
That literally
that you could use for the same exact story.
Yeah, right. Isn't that, and I think that's so cool. Like it's really dope. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a question that Jules and I love to ask all of our guests and that we ponder about all the time. So what do you think happens after Satine dies? Like speaking like an ensemble, like in terms of the ensemble, obviously you cover a couple of Lady M's, so
That's a really good question. I don't know if I've really thought about that. Well, we at one point were joking about like what if there was like a sequel of sorts, and like and like Nini or Pierre was the sparkling diamond. Like what if, I don't know. Like how would that also change the temperature of like the ensemble? Because like would there be a new person that would like move up and become one of the lady, like what would happen? There's so much possibility there. But I don't know. I feel like Christian would like stay, like obviously he says like he months go by, whatever. But I'm like Christian, I feel like would stay in the Moulin Rouge, Santiago, and maybe Nini would not ultimately get like be together. Like I don't know. I feel like I would see, since she's the sparkling diamond now, like maybe she'd like find somebody else. I don't know, because Santiago has, him and his wandering eye. So I don't know. But I feel like maybe like that would be iconic if like Pierre somehow like took over. If Pierre took over, I feel like it would be dark. Like a little bit more like giving like dungeon, but like also like kind of fierce, but also if Nini was
Early pop, you
I'm
know.
here. I'm
right,
here for it. Okay. I'm
right.
here for a Pierre sparkling diamond.
You know, we
It's
always
his
joke that
moment.
we're writing Moulin Rouge True too. We're calling it the Duke's Revenge. Because we don't think the Duke's the true full-on villain. So we're like number 2 is gonna be the Duke's Revenge. So we always joke that we're writing it.
Yes, no, literally, like it would give that. It would give that. And I wonder, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Nini was a sparkling diamond, we'd be all whipped into shape. Like everybody would be all like on their P's and Q's, like since she, clearly is kind of like in her own right, very like, this is how I want it and this is what it is, and is a truth teller like through and through. Just so I don't know. That's a cool question though. I haven't really thought about that like extensively.
And it's so open for
Yeah.
interpretation because there's never been a sequel, and it's so much like, and that's what happened. Even like when we do deep dives, we look back before Moulin Rouge. Like, it's so open that you can think about these things and have a wide
Like
variety
what
of.
happened in Lima, Ohio?
Yeah,
That
to
was
to
suffocating.
Christian, like why did he leave? Or like what, the Duke, we'll see about that. We
We
never
never
see
see
about
about
that.
it.
And we're like, does he? So it's so open to interpretation, but we love asking everybody because everyone has different thoughts about it. And we always want to know what like other people think because it's a thing. So we can also write it in Moulin Rouge too. When we write Moulin Rouge too.
Yeah.
Yuki's Revenge.
About that.
Yuki's Revenge.
Right, Dookie's Revenge. Like maybe the club closes and then we're all like we all are forced to get like normal jobs. Like I don't know, like there's so much possibility there. That'd be crazy. Hmm.
Yeah, because like I said, we don't think like the Duke's a full-on villain.
Mm.
Like, it does he do the best thing? Like, I just, you know, he doesn't always
He,
make the
he
smartest
has,
decisions.
but he does have a right to be mad at the
Yeah, like
scenario.
he kind of has a right to be mad at Satine because she went behind his back, and then like
Right.
everyone knew that her and Christian were sleeping together except for him, and it comes out in rehearsal scene too. I would be kind of mad too. Did he take it a little bit too far?
Just a tiny bit, but
See it from all
Right.
the angles. It's like
No,
Jerry Springer up in here.
right. So
and
much
whole
more.
like Nini thing, it's hearsay. Like
Right.
Did he
Literally.
kill
like we
someone?
only hear it from Nini, so
Right, right. Because nobody else was saying all that. Nobody else confirmed that. So maybe she was just saying that to get her shaking in her boots and like get her to like straighten up a little bit, which she never really did. But
Fell on deaf ears.
right, right, literally.
It's just so much fun because there's so much like interpretation for it, and even just like ensemble members, like we talk about like because and I know you've only been doing it a year, but like, do you ever think about like your character? Like, does she have a backstory? Like, do you ever think about that? Like, oh, she was this before she like this is how she got to the Moulin Rouge. She was, in the underground clubs, or she was blah 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 blah. She was like recruited by Ziedler or whatever. Do you ever think about like, or have you ever thought about that?
I feel like kind of in general with kind of the through line with all of my kind of characters that I play is that she's kind of like the young one in the pack. But like depending on who I am, like with La Chocolat, it gives like young girl who like was a club kid like since like she was like a teenager, like and like all her life kind of like really rose up into the ranks quickly and now is like the know-it-all and is like the big boss, in a sense, but like young, but like witty and has a little bit of bite in a different way that, because like, yes, I am kind of like this older in a sense figure, but I try to play it more like older in knowledge rather than like try to make myself be this like older person, if that makes sense. But yeah, more so just like well versed, has more street smarts. And then Arabia, my Arabia feels like it's supposed to be like spunky and like she's young and she's kind of like now like new in the Lady M's and is just like kind of like not really trying to prove herself, but is like the fun girl who's like really figuring it out. And is like finding her place as like one of the girls like that's like finally like gotten her rise and is there. And my ensemble role in a way feels similar to like I'm like kind of the like spunky, like young, high energy, loves to party with the girls, loves to kiki, kind of tries to start mess with the whole like, I don't know, like when the rocks come in, I'll like flirt with Santiago a little bit, and like Nini will be like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, kind of just is there to like, cause a commotion, but also will like keep the tea. Like when Pierre is like talking to the Duke during the rack scene, I'm like, watching out maybe a little bit, or is trying to be in the know as much as I can be, because obviously ensemble members are a bit more removed from the action, but also we have an inkling obviously of what's going on. We see what's happening, we kind of know what's going on, but we're not as like entangled in the mess. So I think it's kind of fun to approach that. And also like even being the first one to enter in Bad Row, I'm like, huh, interesting, and then I like walk and then I'm like, how can I like break them up? It's kind of like that's like what I'm thinking, like how can I like kind of slither my way in there. So
Giving Love Island bombshell. And I'm here for it.
Bombshell has entered the villa, very much. So I kind of I have a lot of fun with like those ideas, and yeah, but also sometimes it changes a little bit. I'll try to make some different choices that are more subtle in some scenes, that are more like, oh, like in others more like engaged and active in ways that are um just like fun to play with. I think we have like a lot of, there's room, obviously we have, there's things that are set, but we have like room to kind of explore within the feelings and the actions that we're given to play with the characters that we are. And we're all like individuals, like going through our own journey. And even like the backstage tracking, I feel like adds to that as well. Like there's so much like on stage, but even backstage, that I think contributes to how we all interact like on stage, which is really cool. Like I think it's fun. It makes it it's the same show obviously and holistically, but we have there's like freedom to like have these little like bits and interactions and see something new. Literally every time I've watched it, like I've been swung out, I'm like, I've never seen that interaction between those two people. I've never seen that person do that, because there is that room for individuality that I think is really, really cool. So
Yeah, Jules and I have been very fortunate enough to see it many times, and we love, like, one of my favorite things about like going multiple times is that like it's those differences that you see, like at least like because, well, both of us come from out of town. I'm from Ohio, she's from Florida, so especially like coming from Ohio, and like I try to go every 3 months. I try, but it's always fun to see kind of like the growth and like how people kind of change what they do, and especially seeing it so many times, we do also like to watch the ensemble in the back, like during backstage romance at the beginning or during rehearsal scene 2, where everything kind of explodes and you're just kind of like, you're pointing things out, and it's very funny.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
these faces.
yes, it's super cool. Like even like if you sit at a different place, like if you're in the mezzanine versus being on the floor, if you're in the back or if you're on the side versus, like, you just see so many different things. Like, and also the fortunate thing about like that's super cool about covering. Not only like am I embodying different people with like different backstories and different lives that they've lived, but I'm seeing the show from like completely different angles a lot of the time. And like being a Lady M in comparison to being in the ensemble has like, and also being the Lady M's that I am, because Arabia is dancing with the ensemble a lot, but like LeChalk is watching Backstage Romance from like up, and it's just so, it's so cool to kind of experience all. Oh, sorry, my phone is telling me I need to go on low power mode. But the it's so super cool to experience the show from kind of all different angles and see it in different like literally everything, like the way I do my makeup and the wig that I'm wearing and like the costume, like everything, seeing it from different angles, all of that really impacts how I'm approaching it, and like seeing how different everybody's experience is based off like who they are. And I bet that's so, I also, I've talked about this with swings a little bit, but I, am always super curious about like how it is like seeing the show from, so many different angles. And like also if any of them cover like a Lady M or two, like it like that's also super, super cool. It must be. So yeah, it's like really, really fun.
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you definitely like okay, so like thinking of the timeline right now because
mhm.
I've seen the show so many times in between like last year and this year. So May 2023, I went with my friend and we sat in the mez because we just got really cheap like last minute seats. And I saw Dylan Duke
Mhm.
and like it was really good and everything. And then the next time I saw Dylan Duke was in the Can seats in February, and just the changes that I've seen just like from his performance, like just from the mez to can, I was like, whoa, I didn't notice that the first time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's like different when you sit. And then I sat in this past May, I sat like house right. So like you just get an entirely different experience there too. So it's like wild.
Mm.
House
Yeah.
right is my favorite. Orchestra right is my favorite place to sit.
Really?
I'm always there. I try for F12, but like I'm always in that area.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite places to sit.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, do you feel like there's something you can
Well, the seats are a little bit cheaper. Get
Yeah.
partial view. But also I think it's just like because I've been lucky, I've sat Can twice. But I
hmm
can't always do Can. Unfortunately, sometimes it is a little bit more expensive. I'm like, oh, it's just not in my budget this time. Um, Especially with Tibet coming back, Tibet tax. I don't know
Tibet
if you've heard
tax is
about that. Tibet
real.
tax is high. It's real. It's a real thing. Ask any Tibet fan, they'll tell you about Tibet tax. But I don't know, the orchestra right is just fun because you're so close to the stage and you feel still like really involved, like a lot of interactions with the characters
hmm
without being in Can. You get to see them come on stage, but even like just during songs like Shut Up and Raise, they come up on the bar and they're like right there, or pre-show, so you're still so close to the action,
hmm
like you're just to the side, but it's like partial view, and you literally the only thing you miss is like the elephant. You don't really miss anything. I love it. It's like my favorite seat. One of my favorite areas to sit is there.
Yeah, I
Cool.
sat there for my birthday bash. I don't know I don't know if you were on stage then, but I had a birthday sash on that said birthday queen and a tiara. I was
Period. I think I do remember this.
yeah, it
Yes.
was I went on
Cheers.
Friday and Saturday, but
Cheers.
and Sunday as well.
Nice.
3 times
Yes.
in one weekend. But yeah. And I just remember like a bunch of people like went happy birthday and then ran on stage. So it was really great. But I'm a can table J kind of person. I like sitting can now. Especially because
Okay.
like I've seen the show so many times. And like whenever Jules is in F12, I like to just go take a little picture.
Yeah, she always catches me off guard as well. Like she'll send me a video of myself. Like there's one I'm just like digging through my bag trying to find stuff. I'm just sat there like looking. And I'm like, what is this? I'm talking to someone. She just catches me fully off guard. But I love it. We like I saw it in London back in March. And they have like standing room, and then they have standing room at the Royal like mezzanine, because they have free in the Piccadilly Theatre, it's orchestra room, and then they have a balcony area. And we did standing room for back, and it was like 20 pounds, so like what, $30?
Yeah.
And I'd never sat mezzanine for the show before. And it was my first time. I loved it. Doing the
Okay.
standing room in the back, it was a lot of fun. A great view of the stage and everything. Didn't miss the stage at the Piccadilly is a lot smaller. It's definitely smaller than like Broadway. So but it was so much fun watching it. Like just watching it from different like seats, different angles is always really fun as well.
Bring the backflip back.
Oh, bring the
Oh my
backflip. We
gosh.
missed the backflip. London does it, other people do, and I'm like, Broadway took it away.
Yeah, I had actually seen, so I had no idea that that was like a thing until I was just like scrolling on TikTok because somebody had like sent me a bootleg of somebody. I can't remember. There was a bootleg on TikTok that had gotten around that I was in, and I was like, let me see if I like, do I look okay? And then also like watching, like, I think it was Casey at that time. That was in the bootleg, but yeah, there was a bootleg sent, and then I just was kind of like scrolling through all of the like lore that exists on TikTok of like Moulin Rouge, and there was somebody had an old clip of the old gauntlet for Backstage Romance, and I was like, there's a backflip. Like, what is happening here? So
They
it was
really swung Christian around.
yeah, it was actually, I think, pre-retract, pre the second retract maybe, but there was like so many, like there were different things that were happening and different people doing different things. So it was really so cool to see. I'm like, wow, this has evolved so much since the workshop, since Boston, since the opening, since reopening. Like
There's
it's
such a big shift from Boston to Broadway.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of people don't realize how much changed. Some of
Mhm.
it, like some people like miss, some people don't miss some certain things. There's little things that they changed and big things, but the backward I think went away and like when Aaron Tveit came back in 2023. I think that's when it went away around about that time. So, but we're like, bring it back, bring it back.
I know. I wonder if it'll be brought back. Who knows what'll happen? I think it's so cool though how it's like living and breathing, and there's so many iterations, and like now we've arrived where we're at, and like there's so much possibility to go even further with what we have. And yeah, it's super cool to be a part of something that's like been running for a long time. And there's also so many different companies. Oh my goodness, like so cool to see that there's like still new companies like opening. And yeah, really dope. Really dope that it's giving Miss Worldwide, for
World tour, yeah. Like
yeah.
it's giving Pitbull Mr. Worldwide. That's
Yeah,
what it
very
is.
much.
Mr. Worldwide to infinity.
We love it. But yeah, that's I know there's so much fun. And also like for you, we talked about this before you jumped on, like being in a show like this, like you said, what's been around, hitting its 5-year anniversary next week. Super excited for that show. But like performing, you're getting to perform with OBC members, Ricky and Jackie and Caitlin Mesh and Dylan and Aaron C. Finley, Aaron Tveit,
Aaron Tveit.
like that's 2 Aarons, gotta get the Aarons right. But like getting to perform with like also these like Tveit's he workshopped it in 2017. Like he's the OG. Getting to work, and like Jackie as well workshopped it. Dylan was in Boston, getting to work with some of these people who've been doing it for so long probably is like really fun as well. Like they've been through it all. So
yeah, it's really cool. So my dressing roommate is Bahia, who OG as well.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's like my like sister, friend, mother, auntie. Like she's like everything literally to me. So, and being her roommate is so cool because I've like asked her so many questions about how like her experience has been, and it's so cool to hear somebody who's been in it since like the very beginning stages of it, and like to see how like it's grown so much, and now it's like it's so different, and like the energy has changed. Like it's such a cool thing to be with somebody who really is at is one of the people at the forefront and like really is the foundation of the work from the ground up. So I think it's so cool to like be around, like Finley and Dylan, and having Aaron Tveit back. Since I've never seen his Christian, I'm like so excited to like
We're
observe.
excited for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm experiencing something like super cool and new and for myself, and I'm super excited to like be a part of that, and super cool to have like those folks still here with us and doing it with us.
Yeah,
To have that opportunity.
Jules and I were talking the other day about how so I saw the original cast in 2019. Like a week after it opened. I think like it was August 8th, 2019 that I saw it, and Aaron Tveit had not done his opt-up yet. Like the opt-up was like not a thing yet. And I haven't seen him since. So
Oh my God.
I'm very excited to see the Aaron Tveit opt-up this time.
Yes.
And you know what? One thing I will say is about when he's it's been a while since I've seen him last in this role, but the energy in the theater is like full on. I remember first time, my first ever show I went to was with Aaron Tveit. And like I said, I blacked out. Completely blacked out. I was just there. I just watched it. Like I took my dad. Like I brought my dad along. I was like, "Hey, Dad, I really want to go see Moulin Rouge. Like, you want to come with me?" He's like into theater, but not like huge like me. And he was like, "Fine." I was like, so I bought his ticket. I was like, "Oh my God, if he doesn't like it, like," and we were sitting like second row. We were like got like D or something or whatever. Or yeah, I think it was like D. I was like, okay. And so the first act, I'm like there watching the show, trying to take it in, but I'm like looking at my dad, like.
Making sure
Is he liking it? And like Elephant Love medley finishes, and I look over at him, I'm like, did you like it? And he's like, oh, I loved it. I was like, woo!
Yeah.
I was like sweating though. I was like, oh my God. But like I just completely like blacked out the first time I went. And I remember like going to see it for the second time, and I was like, wait, I don't remember this happening because I was just so infatuated. And like I told Lily, because like I said, she went, I was like, oh my God, like she was like, oh, he didn't do the opt-up when I went. I was like, girl, you are in for a ride.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes.
And JoJo is phenomenal. So we're so happy to have her back. Like we didn't, think she was going to be coming back because, she's got her book out, she's doing music. So when they announced it, we were like, wait, what? Like, I think a lot of people were shocked. So, and new people coming, we always love it. It's always sad to see people go, but we love, like I said, it's a revolving door.
Oh yeah.
You never say goodbye at this place.
No, never that. Even when we're like, oh, they're gone. No, they're not. Like, no.
Like Ricky's like, yeah, I left.
back.
He's come back like two or three times now.
Yeah, we were like, oh, Ricky, wow, like, enjoy, like, bye. And he was right back. So, it's really fun to like see people come back and like also be in different positions. Like a lot of people that were, even Gio, who I think was an OG, also like him coming back as a swing, like he's also getting a different experience. And also there's people that were original tour cast coming in now and they're on Broadway, and like the show on tour versus Broadway is like the tracking is different. So it's like cool for them to like experience the show in different perspectives as well. So it's really cool to just like be around that. Like there's so many people that end up coming back and you're like, period, like so glad to have you back, like let's do this thing. And like it's so cool to that it feels like a big community that has outstretched, and so many people are in different shows now, but also like it feels like a lot of the time everybody's is really welcomed back, and it's really cool to experience that and see that. Even in my 1 year, so many people have left and like come back, so it's really nice.
Yeah, I remember when this past time that Ricky came back, or they announced that Ricky was coming back, literally the night before I was watching like a compilation on YouTube of the Ricky lives. It's just like somebody put out like a compilation of like all the funny like Ricky live videos and Robin peeing her pants, and like it's just funniest thing ever. And the forehead veins and Tennessee whiskey, and I'm like, oh, I miss it. I'm texting my friend like, I miss Ricky so much, and like my friend's like, me too. And I was like, if he ever comes back, I'm booking my flight to New York. Literally the morning after, I get like 10 text messages from my friend, and she's like, he's coming back. What? I was like,
Yep.
is this an old post? And I was like, no, it's not.
He just can't
Yep.
stay away. He just can't stay
Yeah.
away. And we love that. We love
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, we're excited for the 5-year anniversary because they're keeping it very hush hush.
Yeah.
We
Very
don't
hush.
like,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
We've
So
been
It's like
trying to like
Avengers. It's like the
we've
Avengers.
been like trying to dig, like we've been asking people like, hey, like what are they doing? And they're like, we don't know. So
like
I like they're keeping it really low. I mean, because it's Broadway and Bryant Park in the morning for you
mhm,
guys. So we're going to that. Super excited. My first time ever going to Broadway and Bryant Park. I'm like, great time to go because Moulin Rouge is gonna be there. So,
mhm,
you know. And then the show in the evening, we are excited. I think there's gonna be a lot of fans there. Lots of people. So I think it's gonna be a good show.
yeah.
Ooh.
It's super excited. I think we really embrace and love like the sing along. Oh my gosh, the best time ever. Like we were living. We were like, y'all sing it, turn it up. Give them mics. It was so fun. We were just loving. We love like when fans are here, and it feels like we have like so many like consistent supporters like in the audience. It's really fun for us to like be like, wow, like people really love what we're doing and love the show, and it's so cool to have like y'all there so many other people that are like there and cheering us on, which is really fun. Yeah, so we're excited too. Like we don't really know. Like there's so much possibility of what could happen. Like who knows? But yeah, so yeah, I think Broadway and Bryant Park is gonna be fun. We'll see what happens. Who knows what'll happen. I literally am like I genuinely don't don't know. So it'll be a surprise for me too. Yeah, so it'll be fun to see how that 5-year anniversary goes. We're all I think super excited and just really grateful to be a part of it at this time and just be on Broadway and like be performing and living that. So it's really cool.
Yeah, Jules and I always like to say that like well, I don't know, like obviously story brings us back, the show brings us back, but also the lovely cast members bring us back too. We love like getting to say hi to everyone at the stage door and like just vibing and like it's become just a part of us at this point too.
Mhm.
I always joke that Moulin Rouge hires the nicest people
Yeah.
because every interaction I've had with all the cast members, like tour, London, here, even like when Australia was going, and like we would like, like make post about them or something, or just like if they would message and say something. Everyone had just been so nice. Like we always say, like Moulin Rouge just hires the nicest people because you guys are
It's in
just
your
really
resume. Like
it's in
it
your
has to be
resume
in
that
your
you have to be
resume.
like nice because stage door, I've we've seen you at stage door before as well. Just everyone being so lovely and just I think that also really brings a lot of people there too because like I don't know, it's a sense of community and it's Moulin Rouge has really good values. So it brings
Yeah,
so many people together.
literally truth, beauty, freedom, love. Like genuinely those are I think actual like generally words to live by, but also like I think we all really do try to go back to those as we like move throughout the building and um we do like have conversations about that as we like approach the work and like how we treat each other like which is it's so fun being a part of this cast because I genuinely feel like we're like having a ball. Like it's actually crazy how much fun we're having. Like I go to work and I'm like crying, laughing almost every other day. It's just like, and if I'm not crying, laughing, I'm definitely laughing. So it's really fun to just have that level of like camaraderie within the cast, and yeah, we're having so much fun, and we all are like making TikToks. I'll do an intermission live. Like we're just like super having the most fun, and it's really cool to be in a group of such cool, caring, kind folks. So yeah.
Yeah, Jules and I can feel that from like a fan perspective too, because like Jules and I, iconic story, but like Jules and I last year, July, I guess it was July 30th, like that weekend, it was Derek and JoJo's last show. We were at the like same exact place at the same exact time, but did not know each other then until like I had tweeted something like I'm in the city, and Jules was like, "Oh my God, me too." Like I was like we were there, and in one of Jules's photos, you could just see, you zoom in and you see me in the background. But and then Jules and I like met, and we've made like so many other friends and like interact with so many other fans, and we've also built just kind of this camaraderie in this community just by being Moulin Rouge fans.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. Like on the opposite end of how like y'all are, observing and you're meeting other people that also go to the show a lot, and like you build like camaraderie with them. And I think that's really that's so cute. We're always like, wow, they're here, like,
I
um,
literally have made so many amazing friends through the show and like Twitter and Instagram and like, on Instagram, like group chats. So just like in general being oh sorry, my mic just went out. Just being with these amazing people. So it's friends for a lifetime. So
good. I love that. That's really sweet. And it's fun to hear because also like we're having, a similar experience backstage. And like these people will be hearing from me, always, we're always gonna like stay in contact. We see each other, out, wherever. It's really fun to just like have a cool community of people. And yeah, it's really nice. Love that.
sorry, my mic is going in and out. Okay, cool. I think that's all my questions.
Yeah, it's all my
Lily, do you have
questions
anything
too.
else?
That's all my
Um,
questions.
it's been so nice to talk to you. Thank you so I know it's late, so thank you again so much for coming on. Like I said, after finishing an 8-show week, so we really do appreciate it. And we've had so much fun talking to you and getting to learn more insight about you and your progress. And we can't wait to see you again. Like I said, I can't wait to see your Arabia on the 21st. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And just to see, oh, sorry, I got dogs barking in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But just to, yeah. So thank you so much. And we love doing this and we love talking to you guys. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank y'all so much for having me. This was so fun. Y'all asked me so many amazing
You're
questions.
welcome back anytime.
Yes.
Yes, of course. And it was so cool to, get to know y'all because I'm like, I see so many faces and I'm like, sometimes I don't remember name, it's just so cool to like get to, personally like virtually meet y'all and like um, it's really comforting and fun and reassuring to know that like what we're doing up there is, you know, admired and appreciated and that we're providing a really great show for y'all. So yeah, and thanks for having me. Like this is so fun, and
Of
this is
course.
such a cute like little podcast. I love it. I'll like watch like oh period. Like it's so cool that you'll have this and this platform, and yeah,
Thank
super.
you. Yeah, we love it and we really appreciate it to you guys. So yeah, well enjoy your day off
Yes.
tomorrow. And so you get like I said, we got a busy 2 weeks coming up. So enjoy your day off, get some rest and kick ass this week.
Yes, thank you so
Of
much. Thanks
course.
for having me, y'all, and I'll see you probably on the 21st.
Yep, we'll be there.
Yes. Okay. Yay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Good night.
Bye.
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 Oh, she was
Aw.
so sweet.
Yeah. That was so
How
fun.
adorable. We loved it. Love, love, love. She's a sweetheart. Well, that was our interview with Jordan Wynn. Very successful, very fun. Love hearing insights from different people. Anyway, this is it for this week.
Yep.
We'll be back again soon with another episode
Mm-hmm.
of Can Talks. Dun, dun, dun.
That's our theme song now. It's our theme music.
All right. Anything else to add, Lily, before we
Nope.
go?
Nope. I'm just gonna go sleep because
Same.
still
I'm
sick.
very tired. So,
I am still sick, so we're doing great over here, guys. So
well, peace out, everybody. See you guys later. See you next time.
bye.
Bye.